Hey, 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 hey. Hey, 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 hey. Hi, hi, hi. Hey, hey, hey. We had a break and now we're back here. Welcome to 12 Days of Creativity, masterclass number 2. We are back here with the topic. That's not the topic. We are back here making a track per month in 2024. Whoop, whoop. We're going to be talking about that today. But just quickly recap what this is all about. There's a music production challenge. This is how the challenge works. If we already went through that already in the last stream that I did an hour ago. So please stop the stream now and read through that because this is important information. Giveaways. There's giveaways. So there is Baby Audio complete plugin bundle that you can be winning. But again, we are not celebrating the best or the worst tracks in here. Celebrating the worst tracks. We are not celebrating just like who's made the best track. We are celebrating creative confidence and getting out of your comfort zone and just your story of what you're creating this autumn. But it's more about your creative process than the outcome. So more about that in the actual giveaway submission. There's also a second giveaway where you can win some merch as well as one of my online courses. Please just tag me at LNA.audio stuff on Instagram, Twitter, or other places. I don't know. Oh, Facebook. Or Threads, I think. That's what one social is called. And share about your process. What have you been doing? What you're doing this challenge, and you can also win a second giveaway. DistroKid, thank you so much for sponsoring this event, DistroKid. I personally publish all my tracks this year with DistroKid. I've been publishing all my tracks the last years with DistroKid, so it's been something that I use. I'm very familiar with the with their website and what they provide, and that's why I'm super happy that they are sponsoring also this event. So thank you so much. If you do submit your to the a track or sample or whatever to the giveaway, then you will get also a little surprise from them, a nice discount code for your first year subscription, and also something from me. So please remind that please submit something, whatever it is. We don't care. It's just 8-bar sample. Submit. So here we go. Making a track per month. Oh, I just want to also remind you that this event or this masterclass is monitored by Sophie. Sophie is here. Hello, Sophie.
Hey. Yes, just a quick one. If you have any questions as lovely Lena is going along, just pop them in the chat and hopefully we can get around to them either somewhere in the middle or at the end of the session, because yeah, it'd be cool to answer some questions. So
it would be cool. Absolutely.
Yes.
So Sophie will be here looking at all the questions, and because of the type of masterclass this is, there will be probably a lot of questions about the industry, how I did, how I'm doing the whole challenge by myself or making a 1 track a month. So please ask, and I will answer as much as I can. So thank you, Sophie. Bye. Oh, you're still there? Bye. Okay, making a track per month. So here we go. Let's go into this process and workflow. So I've kind of done this presentation in questions. So I ask AI, what would person want to know about my process of making a track per month? And these were the questions that came. And so perfect way of starting kind of the conversation. So how did I structure my time? How am I doing this? How do I find time to create a track per month, plus also release it. Time blocking is the most important thing ever for me. So this is actually my last week, I think. No, this is 2 weeks ago. So it's the beginning of September. So I had Monday, new single stuff. So all the new single release stuff. So putting it into PRS, which is the publishing, like registering it. I had all these different aspects that needs to be done around publishing. So the new single, social media, plus sending it to PBC. I think I have a list here of everything that I actually need to do on the day. Let me just quickly see what's new single. So cover picture, need to make that. Need to upload both masters. So I have the extended mix as well, normal. I have song trust, PRS, BBC, need to add some lyrics. I have YouTube video for music video that I need to do, YouTube thumbnail, and then send it to, oh no, that's in the next day, but send it to playlist, do Canva. That was for something. That Canva. But yeah, so it's just a lot of admin stuff that goes into releasing a single. So that was on Monday. Tuesday, the track came out. So that's a lot of posting on social media, a lot of TikToks, a lot of Instagrams. But the really important point that I'm already made this year is that I am not advertising any more than that. So I don't have PR campaign. I don't have any. I will talk more about advertising in a minute, but everything is kind of done in 2 days, basically. But time blocking means that I'm reserving time in my week to do a certain task. So I have the single release, but then I have live streams. So live streams are something that I've been doing in my Patreon now for a while. So now I'm doing the live streams in the next weeks, live in Twitch as well as my YouTube channel. But in the past, I've done them in my Patreon, and I always time block them. So it's about 2 hours of my week that I'm just focusing on making music. I have accountability because I'm streaming it. So that means I need to be there. I need to sit down. I need to make music. There is a rule. There's someone expecting me to be there. So I need to be there. It's reserved time. I have that on Wednesday and Friday on last week. I also needed to do my tax return, which didn't happen because, who wants to do that? So I still need to do that. But even if I have everything booked, that is the easiest way for me to start creating. So time blocking, massive aspect of my creative workflow. What workflows did you follow from each other? So for each track, workflows. Okay. As soon as I didn't have a workflow this year, I got creative block. So my biggest creative blocks have happened in March track, as well as June. No, I think it was in August and March that I was just sitting there like, this is not happening. And right now, actually, reason track as well, I had a little bit of struggle. But what I noticed with my own creative blocks, and this is something that I talked about in the last session that I did in the masterclass about creative blocks, is that if you don't have direction, you will get a creative block. And this is so true with myself. As soon as I didn't have a plan, as soon as I didn't know what my goal was, I was blocked. Like, I just didn't know where to go with this. So what I needed to know is I need personally structure, and structure, what I mean with this is a guideline. I need a step-by-step plan, some kind of idea, where do I go with that with the track. So example, I have used pre-planned step-by-step workflows this year. So what that means is that I have 10 steps. And example, I have bass first, chord second, then vocals, and I write myself a list. I have always this notebook next to me, and I start writing a list. Okay, I do this first, this first, this first, this. I have 10 steps. I follow those steps. I create them exactly what I've written down, and I create the track. As soon as I don't have that, I get too overwhelmed, too confused, too out of the. And every time I get lost, I follow back into the put to the list. If I get lost and I get scattered, I come back to where I was. So example, chords or bass, and I focus on the instructions, because often when we don't do that, our brain just scatters and we get it. It leaves too much space for insecurities to creep in. When we have a task or puzzle, as I had a really good interview with Milton Merikidis for my book, and he was calling it creativity and making music a puzzle. So you can give yourself a puzzle to do. What does the puzzle look like? So example, you can say to yourself, make a track that sounds soft. What does that mean? How does it make soft? So example, you can give yourself a task, something to go for, a problem to solve, instead of just sitting down and thinking, now I'm going to make music. It's a bit like how I would say about workflows. So I'm going to talk about workflows more next time, so in 2 weeks. But what I would say that it's like cooking without recipe. So even if you know all the tools, you know all the spices, you know all the pots and pans, and you know every single one of them. But if you start just throwing things together and hoping for the best, it's very unlikely that something very refined and beautiful will come together. Sometimes you might be surprised and something amazing does come together, but often there is something that it takes more risk that something comes together if you just throw whatever is in the fridge into a pan. And the same thing is with music, and especially with music production, because we have so many pots and pans and so many spices and so many things to throw in there. But what if you have a recipe and you start following the recipe to make a dish? Even if you're not 100% sure, is it going to be Italian dish or Indian dish? But you start following a thing and it starts forming, oh, we're making curry here. Does this metaphor work? I don't know. But in my head, it made sense. So basically, creativity is the same way. As soon as you don't have direction, you can get lost. And then you have too much salt. Another thing that really helped me is watching tutorials of someone producing and following that in my session. So I've been very, very, very inspired by Ben Bomer recently. And I found this tutorial or like a video of him just creating. It's a Ben Bomer writing a track from scratch. And as in here, you can see that first it started with a start, then we are getting a theme started, adding effects, adding chords. This is a workflow, right? This is exactly what I said. It's a list of things to do. Playing your chords with diva, melody, tweaking diva sounds, background strings. So I'm not copying what Ben Bomer was doing, but I'm just using that as a map for myself to create something to kind of direct my creativity. So I think I use this as a workflow to create Weightless Night, so my July track. And in June, I use Nora En Pure's The Other Side as a workflow. And what do I mean with that is that I listened to the track and I absolutely loved it. So what I did is that I dissected it and I was like, okay, what instruments does Nora En Pure use? She uses this kind of synths, this kind of like structure, this kind of arrangement. She uses this kind of kicks. Okay, I'm going to make a list, create that kind of kick, that kind of synth. And again, I'm not copying what she's doing. I'm just using it as a guideline, as an inspiration for myself to have a workflow. So I'm not doing Nora En Pure's track. I'm just creating something of my own, using hers as an inspiration. And I've actually done that with my own tracks as well. So I dissect my own track again and just follow that. I just need guidelines and rules, and I feel like it's something that so many people need. And as soon as I didn't have this year, I got lost. As soon as I didn't have direction, I got lost. So as soon as I did this, I had a workflow, I found my direction again. There's a bug here again. So annoying. So workflows were absolutely crucial. How did you maintain momentum over the year, dealing with burnout, motivation techniques? I would say that the biggest thing for that is that I have needed to understand what are my priorities this year. I have needed to prioritize my life a lot. I have needed to organize my priorities. And what this means is that, what do I want out of this year? I needed to be very clear again with my success. What is the definition of success with this year? The definition of success is not amount of streams. So, example, if I would have started to advertise every single track I'm making with a massive campaign, I would absolutely burn out. If I try to do this while doing my YouTubes the same way that I've been doing it for the past years, I would burn out. So I needed to understand that I want to make a track per month so that, firstly, branding wise, people see me more as a musician, that they see me as an educator of Ableton Live. That was really important to me because I've never really seen myself as an educator. I've seen myself more as a musician. And so I needed to change that. But how to change that is to do music and do less tutorials. So what that meant is that I needed to take pay cut because I'm doing less tutorials. My YouTube streams are less. I get less followers. I get less brand deals. I'm doing less of the work that gives me a lot of money, whereas music right now, like streams, are not giving me a lot of money. And I needed to do a conscious decision to make this change and be okay with it. So I prioritized my music over money and my artistry over money. I'm just going to have a sip of water, my very dry mouth. So it's very hard to, I feel, to accept sometimes that the things that we need to do. So example, me wanting to focus on my music more meant that I needed to accept that I'm almost like starting again. And when you are in your 30s and you're starting again a new thing. So example, I'm learning to DJ, I'm learning a new genre, I'm learning so much. There's a lot of element of shame in it. There's a feeling of I'm not allowed to reinvent myself or be better, like reinvent myself or create a career later. Like you kind of feel like you should know everything in your 20s. That's the kind of assumption. But what I've learned is that I've only recently figured out what I actually want from life in the last years. And that's why I needed to do this. And getting back to the question, how did I maintain my momentum over this year, was that absolute need to do this. I need to do this now because I know what I want. I want to do music more and more and more. I want to perform it. I want to DJ it. I want to do hybrid sets. I want to live and breathe it more. And tutorials and education needs to be a smaller part of my life. So priorities, time blocking, making sure that everything is working in harmony in my life. That was massive part of how I'm doing this year. And accepting that with this change comes pay cut, comes change, comes feelings of uncertainty. Is this going to happen? Is this worth it? And what I've learned by doing YouTube is that it's always worth it. Because as soon as you just keep on doing and keep on doing something, there will be reward at one point. And I will talk about already, because there already has been a massive reward at this point doing this. And I want to talk about that in a minute. What have I written here? Managing stress and burnout. Being systematic with my creative process and goals. If you have very clear plan when and how and what I'll create, all I need to do is follow the plan. That's it. If I'm systematic, there's no error. I just need to follow my plan and the system will work. Prioritizing making music this year. Absolutely. Okay, so I had exactly the same comments on that. Creative growth. Did your music style evolve over the year? And how did feedback from listeners shape your growth? Whew. This is a very interesting one. Yes, and yes. So the past years, I've been very confused about my genre. I've been confused about where do I belong in this music industry. I've been doing YouTube now for 5 years-ish, I think. And that's confusing even more because there's a certain, because you do educational content, there's also certain expectations of what kind of level of music you do. So there's a lot of pressure. And I've been feeling very scared starting again or start finding myself until this year where I was forced to find myself because I put myself to do music so much. I needed to figure out what am I doing here. I needed to figure out which direction I'm going for. So I went in it with the idea of, okay, I need to find artists that inspire me. And I started only following people who were older than me on Instagram, not younger than me, but older than me or my age, who have a career that I wanted to have for myself. From there, I found names like George Fitzgerald, Nora Pure, Ben Bomer, people that are all, I think, older than me and who do this as a full-time. They have such an amazing looking career. And I was like, that's what I'm aiming for. So what is the steps for that? The steps for that is to understand what genre are they? So I want that. What are they doing? What scene are they in? So I understood that Nora Pure and Ben Bomo are both kind of melodic progressive house area. So I started to listen more and more that area of music. And I was like, oh my God, that is amazing. I'm feeling like I'm part of this. I want to be part of this more and more. And I started to find more and more artists that I got inspired by. And that started to shape how I wanted to experience my own music. So just following my inspiration to this new genre, new area, completely shaped how I feel my artistry. And what I've also realized that this was a big realization for myself was that I am a neurodiverse person and I've always seen people enjoy music a lot. I've always done music, but I never really understood why people like music that much, like listening to it. And this sounds really weird. And I know it sounds a bit like, what, you make music and you're a musician by yourself. But I never been like a fan of music. I grew up making it. And it's just been part of like who I am. Until I heard Mother by George Fitzgerald. And I found house music, but not like dancey umchi, but like chill, melodic house music. And suddenly I was like, whoa, where has this been? Because suddenly I felt like I saw colors for the first time. I was experiencing music the way that I've never experienced music before. And I actually Googled it, and it's very studied that neurodiverse people experience electronic music more than they do lyrical music. And it just makes so much sense. It's repetitive, it has a pulse, you can predict where it's kind of going, it's melodic, it's more emotional, connected, and like physically connected than example lyrics, which are kind of hard for me to, as a dyslexic, to comprehend sometimes. And suddenly I felt like I found my people. I found my music. And it was almost like I was crying because I was like, this is where I am. So my point is, when you start doing music more, you start finding who you are and what do you enjoy about music, not only as a listener, but as a creator. Like, where do you belong in it? And it was one of the best things ever. And now I'm absolutely obsessed with this whole scene and the whole atmosphere, and I'm still finding myself in it, but I've definitely found my crew. And as a DJ, I've learned that I don't need to do 10 p.m. sets because I don't really like that kind of like really noisy big sets. I can do 10 a.m. festival slots, or I can do afternoon slot because that's more comfortable me and my sensory stuff. So I've learned that I can find my place in a community as who I am, and I don't need to become them. I can be myself, and I can bring my voice into the community. And I've found that this year. So, how did you find feedback, and how did feedback from listeners shape your growth? Submit Hub is really important part of this year. Playlist and Submit Hub. In the beginning of the year, I was confused about my genre. I did not know much about house music. I studied artists, listened to playlists, and watched a lot of tutorials. I have used Submit Hub for each of my releases since the beginning. So I heard that it's a great way to access the Spotify playlist by third-party people. There was a lot of criticism about it online, say that it doesn't really work, that you don't really get yourself to the playlists. But I found a way, because you need to learn what they want and where is your community. I learned from the feedback that I wanted to create, what I wanted to create, and which playlists are for me and which ones are not for me. So I was sending my tracks for wrong people. Very wrong people, until I learned more about house music, the subgenres. How does it work? Where does my track belong? So instead of trying to make tracks that were meant for them, I made tracks and I found the people. I had more knowledge and understanding of who could play this, what kind of people would. This gained my confidence as I started to learn where I belong in this corner of the music industry. So not only did I need to understand house music, I needed to understand melodic house, organic house, progressive house. Who plays it? Why they play it? Where do they play? Is it dark? Is it sexy? Is it uplifting? Is it where does my track fit in there? So I found, let's have a look at this. This is my Submit Hub, right? Let's scroll down and have a look. I've submitted there since last year 2 campaigns. So I submitted it I got 5 responses, no playlist. Are You Okay? That was last year, 2023. 5 responses, no accepted, no playlists. Middle, 2023, 13 responses, no playlists. January 2023, 24, so I made this in December. 12 responses, no, approved. Then we go to this year where I started to figure out house music. I started to figure out what I want to do. I started to figure out the genre more, the corner of the genre. 22 responses, 4 approved, 18% approved rate. Good choices, 3 approved, 14%. Things I want, 2 approved. But now, look at this. Now I started to get it. I started to understand it. 20 responses, 5 approved, 25%. Overthinker, 36 responses, 9 approved. Soft Delight, 48 responses, 12 approved. And this one got the most streams on StreamYard. This got like 4,000 streams from StreamYard or something in the month. Waitlist Night, 43 responses, 10 approved. The Last Track, 40 responses, 15 approved, 38% approval rate in my latest track. So can you see the difference from start to where I'm now of just understanding myself, but also understanding the industry? So it's not only just, again, I must make this very clear. Don't make music for the playlist. Make music that you love and find the right playlist. Understand the industry, learn the industry, because that's the only way you can make good music that you enjoy, that has the emotional impact, that has what it takes to connect with people, and then find the right people to play it. If you keep on sending it to the wrong people, they're not going to play it as much as you try to, and then you just feel shit because you think it's wrong or your track is wrong, but you're just not sending it to the right people. Find the right people to play your track. So that is massive thing I've learned this year. Submit Hub has, and this is the only advertisement I've done this year. So, releasing and marketing. What were your marketing strategies? Submit Hub, YouTube, Insta, and TikTok. That's it. So my releasing and marketing strategy this year was not to do marketing, basically. I used my social media. I obviously have a decent amount of YouTube subscribers, but most of them are here for techniques and Ableton tips. Most people are here not for my music. That's absolutely fine. So TikTok has been absolutely amazing for that. I found actually some really good new followers who like my music on TikTok. I created a new artist channel because I noticed that what social media wants is that you have an account for each of your practices. So don't have a tutorial channel and music channel doing the same thing. Have a tutorial channel and separately an artist channel. Have a tutorial TikTok, have an artist TikTok. It makes it so much more beneficial. And if I would have done this earlier already from a YouTube channel, I think I would have got a lot more subscribers on this channel. So I started to do like on YouTube, on my artist channel, I started to do a little music videos, and they're just little moments of my life. And they get like a couple hundred views, which is not many compared to what I usually get for my tutorials. But do you know what? I don't care because I enjoy them. I personally enjoy making them. And this is something that I've got from this year. I don't care if people listen to my music. I don't care if they watch my music videos, because I'm finally in a point where I freaking love my own music and I love making the little videos. So that's what I wanted. That was a goal for this year. The goal was not to get the streams. The next year, my different goals, I want to expand from what I built up. This year was just to create the basis of finding my sound, find who I am, and find enjoyment in what I'm doing. What did you use to distribute your music? DistroKid. What was your approach to cover art and branding? So I have been using Canva to do branding, I could actually show quickly a document which I use it as a template. My cover art has changed quite a lot during the year time. So this is where we started from. Then we went to good choices. So I've kind of like had this blurry background with some sunsetty vibes with a figure on the front. And then we went to this era, which is this now. So I saw that this is very common in the industry. And I thought, do you know what? It looks so much easier just to have your branding and then a sunny picture or sunshine picture to create the atmosphere. It was so much easier, and it's very common in melodic house to have a branding like this. So actually I was like, I'm not offended about going for what the industry standard is. Everybody, like, it's very, each genre has a typical look. If you are a folk singer, you might have a different type of cover. Maybe you're looking, posing into it like moody way. But this is very melodic house vibe. It's almost like the picture just shows, like, if you're showing this to a music person, they're like, yeah, this is some type of electronic music, probably house, melodic house music. And I was like, I'm not offended by that. I'm going to start doing that because I have a template. I just change the picture in the background. Boop, 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 boop. Done. Go. Why not? Why the hell not? So yeah, so I'm just using that kind of it takes me 5 minutes now. I'm not overthinking it. And that's the kind of point of this whole year. I'm not overthinking anything, not marketing, not branding, none of that. Because the thing is, how do you brand and market anything if you don't have nothing to brand and market first? This is where the industry goes so wrong all the time. We have this idea, we have so many conversations with Sophie about this. It's like we can constantly like lectures about how your Instagram is supposed to look or how this is going to look, and just do your music. Just create a platform of music. Focus on just your music. Focus on what you're doing. And then when you have enough, you feel confident about it, then start focusing, okay, how can I market this? How can I explore it more? So I would say and also by doing that, I've already got so many benefits because I've just done that. Balance between art and algorithm. How did you balance creativity with the desire for more streams? I'm not going to lie, as much as I say I didn't do this for streams, I have looked at the streams. I sometimes feel, why do I not get thousands and thousands of tens of thousands streams? It's that little voice in your head that sneaks in. But I guess I've done enough work in myself now to say to that voice that comes to the jealousy, envy, feeling shit about your, like, I'm not giving it a lot of space anymore. I'm saying, you're not serving me right now. Go away, because I've been there. I done YouTube for 5 years. Algorithm and streams freaking consumed me. I was in a point of like burnout a couple years back when I've been doing YouTube, making a video for YouTube once a week for over 3 years. And I was in a point where algorithm was not liking me. I was not getting anywhere, and it becomes so consuming. I'm not going back there. That is not a great place to be, because also in a grand scheme of things, what does it matter? What really does it matter? I have one life. It's quite short. And I'm here worrying about if I have 100,000 subscribers. Come on. It's like, why am I doing this to myself? Why am I here stressing about that? So that's why I'm doing this year. I'm not doing marketing. I'm intentionally not focusing on the algorithm and the streams. I'm intentionally not doing that. I'm intentionally focusing on making music I love and figuring that out. And if that leads somewhere, that's great. But I'm not expecting it because it's exhausting. And I've been there and I don't want to do that again. About timekeeping, by the way, I was doing all my mixes first. I just remembered we were talking about time and time blocking. In the beginning of the challenge, I did all my mixes by myself. And in June, Diana Stone started mixing my tracks. And that's the best decision I've done because I have another pair of ears who's doing the mixing. And when you do things very fast, it's been absolutely amazing. And that's also increased the quality of my tracks. And I'm always been saying, like, there's nothing wrong of doing your own mixes. Just give yourself more time. You need more time. Your ears are not going to be adjusted that well yet. You need more time between you making the track and mixing it. So couple weeks or couple days is not enough, which I basically had. So I had mixing engineer doing my mixes. She's Sounds by Diana in Instagram. Check her out. She's awesome. She does videos for Isotope, so you might know her. So Diana did that, and then so that was the only thing I used money for, plus Submit Hub. So I would say together each month I have used money about £180 from June. Before that it was maybe like 50 quid a month, and from June to September it's been about £180 a month for each track. So mixing and Submit Hub. Otherwise I'm not used any other money. So just being transparent here. Stats. Let's have a look at my stats a bit. So January, what we see here. Ooh, let's go this way. January stats, where we started from in the beginning. We have, this is Spotify stats. So doing a track per month and using StreamYard, Summit Hub, has increased. And also, obviously, I have social media following. So all those things together, I had 83 listeners in January. Now I have 2,324 listeners. In August, it went over 3,000 listeners a month, monthly listeners. So I had 3,500, I think. And this was a couple days ago. So this is now 2,324, which is pretty nice increase. Streams, I had 181 in a month. And now I had 3,924 streams in a month. Streams, the listeners, or saves, 17 saves in a month in the beginning of the year. Now I have 79, which is quite nice. Playlist ads, this is quite big. Submit Hub and followers, 28 playlists, and now I have 235. And followers are increased from 326 to 716. So this is without marketing, without campaigns, without anything. It's just my followers and Submit Hub is, and then couple TikToks and Instagram things. Like I would say maybe 10 posts on social media for each track, approximately. I'm pretty happy with that, to be honest. As I said, I'm not really expecting anything. So, but I'm just showing that this is really interesting. Like when you keep on increasing stuff. What's next? I still have 4 tracks to release this year, which I will do as an EP end of November because I don't want to do anything in December. So I decided that I'm going to release them as an EP. I will be streaming my track making process on my YouTube channel. There's a playlist for it in the front page. So go and follow that. So you can see how I make the last 4 and how has this year of monthly releases contributed on my long-term goals. So this far already, I've been approached, example, by a very nice, would it be a label type of thing, to do a writing camp, example, just because they like the tracks that I've been doing recently, the activity I've had. So there has been already, like, people are noticing the quality, people are noticing how active I am, people are noticing the genres. This is basically how I treat it as is a portfolio for the next years. This is my beginning of new era of LNA, of doing DJ stuff, live performance stuff, doing collaborations, working with labels, doing production for others as well. And it's already started. And the thing is that the biggest thing that I've noticed with YouTube, whether that is YouTube music, with anything, is that you don't chase success, you attract success. And that is just the biggest fact of life ever. And whatever success is for you, for me, it's that I can do this as a full-time living, which I'm already doing, but I want to have the more weight on my music rather than YouTube. So I want to just do that weight change, which this year has been about, and it's already showing results, and I'm not even done yet. So what's the word in English? Repetition, doing something all the time is just so important. And finding who you are and enjoyment in yourself is what gives results. And also happiness. Which is the most important thing, because I love my tracks. I now listen back to my tracks and I'm liking them. I never had that. I always listened back to my tracks and I was like, ugh, what's happening there? What's this? And now I'm like, no, this is a vibe. This is good. And I never had that before. So happy. Sorry, now I haven't had much questions, but now it's time for questions. Sophie.
Hey, I've ended up in a cave. Clearly, I need to turn a light on, but it's fine.
Hello to the cave.
Hey, Goblin Cave. Cool.
That's the most realistic producer setting, though.
So true. Cool. So we have a few questions. So the first one, or the first two, are connected to your time blocking illustration, which you showed before. Somebody asked, in the whole week, is it only 2 hours of music production? I think it connects to...
Oh, that's a good question. No. No, it's not. That's what I committed. And then I have other days that I've been just when I feel inspired. So it could be a Saturday or Sunday, and I spend the whole day making a track. So I would say each track has taken maybe 3 to 7 days to make. I would say that that's approximate. Some tracks has been 2 days, some tracks has been 8 days, depending on the creative block level. Yes.
Cool. Somebody else asked, what do you do on Thursday? Relating again to the visual.
Thursday, I'm currently watching Marvel movies. From start to the in chronological order. I can't speak English today.
Chronological?
Thank you. In that order. I'm watching Marvel movies, so I'm at the first Avengers right now. Or I have a date with my husband. When I don't have a date with Marvel, I have a date with husband.
It's like a self-care day. Almost.
It's a self-care day. Yes, it's doing things that zero my my head. So when I'm tired, I just really need like a zero, and watching Netflix for a whole day zeroes my head, or going out with my husband because he's nice.
Cool. Amazing. The next question is connected to when you are doing your live streams. So somebody asked, when you live stream your workflow, do you show every single thing, like the effects within all the tracks, or do you keep some things to yourself?
I show everything. I am not one to gatekeep anything like that. I think I'm pretty transparent because I don't see why not. I think the idea of competition or that someone is stealing something is only away from them. That takes too much space in my life to think that I'm competing with somebody, that they're not allowed to see my workflow or something. I don't really see the benefit in that. So only thing I would say is that the more I can give to people, the more people will give to you. I have done over 400 videos on YouTube for free educational content. I give so much on YouTube, Patreon as well. And the funny thing is, the more you give, the more you start getting back as well. So I live by that principle, I think. And that comes back to like just being transparent with my workflow, because life is too short to have those feelings, I think.
Absolutely. Cool. That was a great answer, I think. So there's one question connected to labels.
Yeah.
So somebody said that they sent off a great track to 10 labels, but they only got one reply saying that it wasn't in the right style and didn't fit the vibe. And they're not sure how things work in 2024. So what's the best route, do you think?
When it comes to labels and anything, whether that is management, representation, you want visibility, again, it's the same saying, you attract success, you don't chase it. So when you email people, they don't know who you are. They don't know. So what they talk is money. They think about, how can I make money from this person? So why would they put money to you? That's the question to ask. It's nothing to do how gifted you are. Unfortunately, the world is full of gifted people. My Patreon is full of amazing, talented artists who all need to be heard. And when you start realizing how talented everybody is, how many talented people there are, there's a mass and mass of talented people. Why would you be the one that they need to put money to? And that's all it comes down to. It's money. It's not about you or your gifts or who you are as a person. So all I'm saying is that how things work nowadays is that you put the work in creating portfolio, creating music that you are proud of. You keep on doing it. You keep on doing it. You keep on doing it. And you will attract the people that are supposed to work with you. It's very... Or you, like, attract is also means that you go to then, you meet people, it's networking, you find the right people to collab with, and also not be scared of getting a no. There's the other side, is that I'm not saying that you shouldn't reach to people. You should reach to people, but don't expect that they will reach back to you. So yeah, don't be afraid to also ask for things. Definitely ask for things. Absolutely. Don't just wait around for things to happen. If you want a record deal, go and get one. What does that mean? It means that you need to have an extremely good profile, online profile. You need to have good amount of tracks. And then you just send everything, email, and you're not afraid to get a no back. Because you believe in what you have to be invested in. You believe that you're someone that should be invested money to. So absolutely, you work on yourself and then you just vomit it into the world and someone will respond.
Nice.
Nice vomiting.
So also connected to labels, somebody asked, what is the difference between getting signed and DistroKid? Like, what are the pros and cons?
So as a DistroKid person, you are independent. You are completely owning all your music, all the licensing, everything by yourself. It's all yours. Nobody's coming to tell you taking a cut. Nobody's coming to take you money. When you're signed, So either it works that you can be signed for a certain amount of time, so you need to have a certain amount of tracks come out in a certain amount of time. They most likely own your recording. So there's different kind of royalties. So they will own one of those royalty, maybe completely, or you own half of it. So when you publish anything as an independent artist through DistroKid, you own all of it. You get all the money. When you are in a label, they usually it's 50-50. You only own 50% of your recording. You do own your intellectual property, but not 50%, only 50% of your recording. And in return, they are supposed to give you a lot of stuff like connections and radio plays and visibility and all that. The thing about that is that I'm hearing a lot of mixed reviews of labels. Are they giving actually that? And how much also they are dictating of opinions of what you should do with your music and where to go with it. So personally, I'm very hesitated of working with labels. I'm not saying no to labels, but I'm also very hesitated. This year, that was absolutely not a possibility because no label will finish a track on Thursday evening and then publish it on Friday. And that's what I've been doing this year. So I want to do everything publicly by myself. And then next year is possibly to expand that and work with other people and possibly also labels.
Cool. We've just got a couple more. So somebody asked, do you struggle with meeting your self-imposed deadlines? Which I think is a really good question.
Yes. But I trust the process. I trust that I'm a person who, if I say something, I'm going to do it. I want to do it. It's not about whether I will. It's about that I want to so hard and I will prioritize it over everything and I will do it. Whether that is doing it during the nights, doing it whenever, I will get that done. So this EP example, I'm a bit worried, a little bit. Will I get it all done? Because I'm now done one of them halfway. I think one track is September and I need to finish 4 of them by end of November, and there needs to be mixed and mastered and everything done. But I also trust the process and I trust that I will do it because I need to do it. I want to do it. So whatever that means, that might mean that in the last 2 weeks I'm working like crazy. Is that healthy? Maybe not always, but it also gets things done. And then I can rest afterwards because I'm booking whole December off. So it's like trusting the process, trusting yourself. Bobby says this. I'm trusting the process. I'm trusting that I know myself and I know myself as a producer and my skills enough. And I've proven this year to myself that I can create really good tracks under pressure. And that is because I've proven over and over. I didn't trust it in the beginning, but I am born with this weird, I'll be fine attitude. I'm quite like realistically optimistic person. Oh, it's be fine. And then if it's not going to be fine, I'm going to figure it out. I know that I will, even if I can't do it, I'll figure it out. My mom taught me to say always, everything is arrangeable. Everything's arrangeable. There will be a time where you'll be fine. There will be a time in the future that you will be fine. It might be that after you need to like have a couple stressful weeks, but you'll be fine. Everything can be arranged. Everything will be fine. So I trust that, but I also trust me as a producer and an artist that I will get things done. So I don't always match, but also I have needed to learn to be kind to myself, that if I say that I want to release a track by the end of the month, what I've started to do is, if it's not ready, if my mixing engineer has a busy week, I'm not going to pressure her to start doing something because I want it. So I say, you know what, let's delay it with 1 week. It's not that dangerous. So I've also learned to be quite ease myself up to be okay with little delays, because it's okay as well.
Absolutely, absolutely. And real quick, because we're just on 33, for the last little question, how do you handle getting stuck whilst making a track? What's maybe like your one quickest best piece of advice?
Well, that's the whole thing, isn't it? That's my whole
Mhm.
book. That's the whole 12 days of creativity. I take a step back, don't give up, say beep off to everybody, all the thoughts that are not serving me at that moment. And I go back to a guideline, back to a workflow, back to a plan. Yeah, I need to have a plan. So whether that is the pre-made workflow, whether that is a tutorial that shows a workflow, I'm following that. I need to have a plan. If something is not working, I need to take a step back, and just reassess, what are we doing here? Okay, we are making a track. Next thing, chords. Next thing, solo. Next thing, this. And to say to that, to remember that I don't need to like it all the time while I'm making it. I don't need to like my track every single step. It can sound pretty shit at parts. I can be tired, which makes me think that it's shit. I can't trust my emotions and my thoughts while I'm making it. So trust the process. Trust that if you follow the steps, you follow what you're doing, it will become something that you like at one point. If you don't still like it, take a step back and do it again. But you will get there. And the more you keep on repeating that, the more you start teaching yourself that you can trust the process, because you've shown yourself that it works. And that's definitely something I've done this year.
For sure. Ace, cool. Well, that's all the questions. I think you answered them really well. Really, really well.
Well, thank you for questioning me. Thank you, Sophie. Thank you, everybody. We are coming back to masterclasses in 2 weeks. Go to the task at the end of the first masterclass. There will be, and you will get, if you're registered for this challenge, you will get an email soon by Sophie and me, where you will be instructed on what to do next. The next step is to figure out, what is your plan? We talk about plans a lot, but have a plan, and we will come back with workflows in the next masterclass, not masterclass number 3, and we will start getting our track together. Now it's more about just making a plan. What do you want to do? That is more important than anything. So don't overlook this. Do not overlook this part. I promise you, if you do this task that I said in the end of the last masterclass, you will get to the end. If you overlook this, you can get lost on the journey. So make sure to do this. The end of the task. There's a task. Go and do the task. Thank you so much. Thank you. I feel motivated. Our job is done, Miss Sophie. Our job is done.
Woohoo!
Great job, ladies. We did good. Bye, everybody. Also, go and check Cherry Sarah from Insta and Spotify as well. She makes great music as well. So,
Thanks.
Okay, let's end this stream. Thank you so much, and good luck figuring the first task out. And we will see in 2 weeks. And see you in Patreon as well. Come to the chat in Discord. Bye. 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 Bye.